Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 169. We are back today for another weekly episode. First, want to let everyone know or hope that everyone had a great Christmas. How was your Christmas? I guess we've talked about it a little bit.
It's been a minute, but it was awesome. Yeah. I love spending time with the family and the holidays. It was a lot of fun. How was yours?
It was a great holiday. Spent time at home. Didn't have to travel much this year, which is a new thing, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, it was a great holiday. As you can see, sitting here, we have a couple new items. We got the High Tempo koozies and High Tempo sticky notes. So, next time we have to jot down a note or two in the middle of the podcast, like we always do. We got those available
all the time. I can't wait to doodle on your face and draw something on your face. Who
Shout
knows?
out, and then we'll neither of us are wearing the sweatshirt, which is kind of funny. But my sister got me and Easton High Tempo sweatshirts, so they're super dope.
Crazy. Yeah. They're crazy.
They're awesome. So it's almost gotten me thinking maybe it's about that time we make our own merch and get it to the people. Not actually make a website, but get it to the people that we know want them, because all of our buddies, they want them. Brad Gross been wanting one for some time now.
It's about damn time.
That's what I'm saying.
I would say. I think Lizzo would agree.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. We are recording this on Wednesday night, December 28th or something. I don't even know what day it is. 28th. New Year's coming this weekend, but let's talk about everything we've missed out on the last last week or so. We're going to start with basketball today. Lately, we've been starting with football, but we're going to start with basketball today because last night, Luka Doncic had one of the most unreal stat lines ever. I mean, not just in modern day, literally ever. Put up 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists in a comeback overtime win against the New York Knicks. You started him in fantasy, which is just unreal. What a performance.
Yeah, it was. And the shots that he hit during the performance, the comeback win down 9 with 30 seconds to go. That's what really amplifies the performance. The numbers are great. Obviously, Wilt Chamberlain never put up a stat line like that.
That's how you know it's a good stat line.
That's how you know you did it. You made it. And then he had the crazy putback. The putback and one.
Yep.
And then the missed free throw. And then the putback again. Just absolutely ridiculous. Dominating. 60-point. 21 rebound is crazy from a 6'7" guy.
And I think that's what makes it even more impressive is the fact that it was down by 9 with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Because if they don't win that game, it was going to become a what are the Mavericks doing type thing. The Mavericks are a poor team right now. They were under 500 for the most of the season. They've won a few games in a row now. But it was going to be, how do you waste a performance like this from Luka in a loss? Well, they won, so obviously it changes the vibes of everything, but you also have to think, it took a miraculous comeback and a craziest stat line game maybe ever for you to barely edge out in a home game against the Knicks, who are a good team right now, but still, it's just it shows where the Mavs are right now as a team.
Yeah, the Knicks were also missing Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett in the game.
And two of their hottest players right now.
Which is just crazy.
Could have sworn I had my water. I don't
There's a water right here. It was right here when we walked in.
Oh, that's probably mine.
We walked in and it was there.
I think it is. I get the Meyer brand water.
Respect. I don't know ever what we were talking about. I got thinking about the water.
Sorry, we were talking about Luka. By the way, too, I'm a little stuffy right now, but
everybody is.
I was gonna say
the whole world is.
This humongous winter storm we got. It just got everybody sick.
Yeah, everybody's going through it.
So I apologize for my voice being a little weird.
A point that I wanted to make with the Luka stat line. Luka is 23 years old and clearly cemented himself as one of the best players in basketball. I'm not going to put a number on it. We have another 3 players who are foreign who are a top whatever in the league, being Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, and Joel Embiid.
Right.
All right there in the top. I will put a number on it. Top 10, at least. They
For
are. Sure. Is it not unreal how good the other countries have become at basketball?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't want to say just Europe because Joel's not from Europe.
Yes.
But it is unbelievable that all these talented players are not American anymore. I think this trend will continue until we see where there's just not going to be a lot of Americans yet. Not as many as we see right
saying,
now.
yeah.
There's going to be a ton of foreign guys in the league in the next coming years because of what Jokic, Embiid.
Exactly.
Everybody now wants these guys.
And you think about, Victor Wembanyama's coming to the league, a non-American born player. Like Pascal Siakam is another like top 20, 15-ish player that is a foreign born player. So there is, and Killian Hayes is another one. So it's like, no, I get what you're saying though. It's pretty unreal, and it shows a lot in like Olympic basketball nowadays. Like, I mean, there was obviously a stretch of time where the U.S. struggled against overseas teams, but especially in recent years, we've seen how difficult it is for the U.S. to compete overseas against these teams. So yeah, it's unreal that these foreign players are just so amazing in the NBA right now. We're going to talk about the Mavericks a little bit more because we're going to do a buy, sell, stay put segment with NBA teams. But we got to talk about the Pistons. We're currently watching the Pistons right now. Like I said, it's Wednesday night. They're taking on the Orlando Magic. They have I thought he was going to hit that. 15-point lead with 9 minutes to go right now. They should win this game. But the reason I wanted to really talk about the Pistons was because of a similar scenario as to this one. They had a terrible choked loss the other night. But we're going to wait to talk about that because we got to talk about what happened tonight. Perfect time to do this podcast because me, Barry Hill, and Willie were watching. Actually, Willie wasn't even here yet. Me and Barry Hill were watching this game upstairs before you showed up. Just enjoying the game. And this is, two young teams, a rivalry, like Sadiq Bey dropped 50 on these guys last year. So there's something there. First game of the year was a fun game between these two.
Yeah, it was. That game was awesome.
Yeah, so definitely like a mini rivalry here between the Magic and the Pistons as the Magic are kind of making a mini comeback. Second quarter, the Pistons take a huge lead. Like everyone's going off. Sadiq Bey, Alec Burks, Hami Diallo balling off of the bench for the Pistons. Gets to about a 15 to 20 point lead. And with like less than a minute left, with 30 seconds left in the half, a pass out to Mo Wagner goes past his hand, back to the backcourt, and he's going to let it go out of bounds, but Killian's chasing after it to maybe try and grab it before it goes out of bounds. And Mo Wagner hits him with the chop, with the chicken wing, and bumps him right into the Pistons bench, right into the coaches, and Killian Hayes did not like that. And there was Killian Hayes retaliates, punches him in the back of the head, and a ginormous brawl on the Pistons bench leads to Killian Hayes, Hami Diallo, and Mo Wagner all being ejected from this game. Crazy stuff.
It's pretty terrible. The Pistons have been getting in fights with like my guys, like people I have enjoyed my whole life. Okay, LeBron James last year. It was tough to be a LeBron fan for a minute after that. It
really was. I agree. Like it was hard. Like it was like that. That was not cool.
No, it was not. And now we're sitting here and it's Mo Wagner. Like, I get he's a dirty player. I've known that my whole time knowing who Mo Wagner is. But he went to the University of Michigan. I love Mo.
And when he does it to your guys,
and now he's doing it to my guys.
Does it to Killian Hayes.
And
it's like,
I have never been so conflicted. I mean, obviously, it's like, screw you, Mo.
Yeah.
But man, does it suck to say that. It really hurts. At least Franz didn't do it. Like, Franz is a better player. So.
Yeah.
But
that'd have been frustrating.
It is crazy. Did you hear the announcer? Who was the stadium announcer? Immediately, like as the brawl starts happening, Killian throws the punch, shoves him, whatever, and you can hear the stadium announcer, "Please remain in your seats, fans." Really avoiding the mouse at the Palace. Did not.
They showed the replay too, and all the security guards came out onto the court, just staring up into the crowd. I mean, it's unfortunate that stuff like this has to happen. Really, question marks going around though. I'm already seeing people on Twitter like kind of getting a little upset at Killian Hayes for reacting the way he did. I'm never going to be upset at somebody for reacting to like a violent act towards them because everybody reacts different to that kind of thing. Me in that situation, I'm probably doing the same thing, maybe even worse. You know, like I don't mess with when guys do make dirty plays on me or my teammates. Like that's always been something I am really firm about. Like, yeah, you shouldn't do anything over the top, but at the same time, like,
oh, I'm hitting you back.
Exactly. Here it is. They're showing the replay right here. Like, and Hami got ejected for that little shove on Mo right there, which was pretty bullshit. I think this little tiny shove on Mo goes right into Beef Stew's arms. He had to have been just like scared as hell.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, like you have no chance. You're surrounded by blue.
Exactly. But Killian Hayes, I'm not mad at him at all for retaliating in the way that he did. I think that Alec Burks hits another three. He's got to have 25 points right now. Killian Hayes, I don't blame him at all for doing what he did. Is he going to get... He has 30... He hasn't missed a shot.
What?
He has 30 points on 10 of 10 shooting, Alec Burks right now.
That is crazy.
But What was I talking
Something about Killian Hayes retaliated.
He's probably going to get suspended.
Yeah.
Which sucks. He shouldn't. Maybe he should. I don't know. It sucks.
It just blows.
But the thing that pisses me off the most about this is players that come off of the bench are not supposed to come off the bench. Like players that are not currently in the game, they need to stay on the bench when a scuffle goes down. Pretty much the entire Orlando Magic bench went over to the Pistons bench and got involved, and that is an auto ejection and auto suspension. Like you're not allowed to do that because that's how scuffles get intensified. So I don't know what was going on there with the refs, especially Hami getting ejected too. Really weird.
I don't get the Hami ejection. I get the shove. Mo wasn't looking, but it wasn't that brutal of a shove.
They said it was for like escalating the fight. Okay. That's what that was their explanation for it, which I think it's still, he maybe could have got a technical foul, not ejected. But
I guess I do understand the ejection or the escalation because it was before the Killian hit. Right. So maybe that's the idea there. So I guess it kind of makes sense.
It does kind of make sense, but it's unfortunate because Hami Diallo has been playing well since he's been back into the rotation. He was having a really good game tonight. But anyways, now that we're past this point, let's talk about the Pistons' blown game on Monday night against the LA Clippers. The Pistons have been the worst third quarter team in the NBA this season. And Dwayne Casey talked a lot about fixing that after Christmas break. And that's what they did in this game against the Clippers. They came out in the third quarter and outscored them, had their best third quarter of the whole year. And it was looking great. They get up to like a 15-point lead with, 2.5 minutes to go? 2.5. And they blow the lead. And not only did they blow the lead, but the Clippers threw in the towel. They brought in Moses Brown, who had not come into the game yet. They brought in Amir Coffey, who hadn't come into the game yet. They're bench warmers. And those guys start to go on a run and cut it to 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. Then the starters come back in. They cut it and tie the game, and then we miss the buzzer beater, go to overtime, and just get obliterated in overtime. Didn't even score until a couple minutes in.
You literally don't have a chance when the situation happens in regulation. You do not have a chance going in. This had happened out of every time a team had been up 15 with 2.5 minutes to go. This was the second time the team down 15 had ever won. Terrible from the Pistons. Terrible. I saw a couple tweets about if you don't think the Pistons are trying to lose games at this point, you're crazy. Blah 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 blah. I don't think the Pistons are trying to win that. I don't think so. I
don't think so either.
Why you don't go up 15 with 2.5 minutes
and be like, all right, we got to lose now. Yeah. That's how a coach loses their job.
Yeah, exactly.
You think that's what Dwayne Casey wanted? I've seen a lot of things about should Dwayne Casey lose his job.
Hell no.
I think it has to be considered though. Mean, we're at the point where it's like. I do like Dwayne Casey, and I think he has bought into the rebuild or whatever. Was there another technical foul? He's had a couple of technical free throw shots.
I think there was a flop.
Oh, a flop warning or whatever?
Yeah, I think there was a flop on. That's what I assume
on Cole
happened.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Soft ass.
But I've just seen a lot about, we're at the point in the rebuild now where something might have to change as far as, after this season. I don't think Casey should be fired mid-season or anything. No. It wouldn't really make any sense right now. But I think after this year, we do need to maybe take a look at getting a new guy to spark this rebuild, maybe a different type of coach. Because Casey's a nice guy. I mean, he's a really nice coach. Maybe we need someone a little more, get to the point, get after his players more. I love Casey. I do really like Dwayne Casey, and I think he would thrive somewhere else much more than he does here. But, maybe it needs to be looked at because a game like that we lose, it's no timeouts were called during the run. It's something needs to be talked about after that.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with one more year of Dwayne Casey, and if it looked anything similar to this year, I mean, and when I say similar, I mean if we got 20 wins minimum next season, it would be okay, you're
because next
gone.
year's supposed to be the year.
Yeah, next year we have to be good.
Where we try to compete, no more top picks.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of where my part is. Obviously, if more games like this happen and more things continue to happen, absolutely. One thing I have a problem with is Sadiq Bey's regression. That's kind of weary. It's kind of a little bit scary.
Right.
After we were the ones who told him to quit playing basketball this summer, we were the ones who sent him to the mountains basically, and now he regressed. And maybe we should just let Sadiq do his thing, however he wants to do it. But I think we give Dwayne Casey one more year. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. See what we do this offseason, see how he can coach the team that is trying to compete. And go from there. But let's talk about the good things of the Pistons. We are the worst team in the NBA right now, 8-28. We're on a 6-game losing streak. It looks like we are going to win this game. We're up 19 with 5 minutes left. So
Oh, I hope so.
If another thing happens, it'd be crazy. We are missing Killian because he was ejected, but Killian Hayes has been obviously still playing well. Jalen Duren has been dominant.
He's a monster.
He is an absolute monster. He is a rebound machine. He's had so many in this game as well. Isaiah Stewart has balled. I'm basically just going off of since Christmas, so just these last 2 games. Isaiah Stewart has looked really good. He's knocking down shots. But most importantly, I think to me, is Saddiq Bey is finally getting back to where he was before. He played big minutes the other night, had a lot of points. He had 19 points, and tonight he's got to have 20 points tonight. He's playing really well, and he's finally getting increased minutes again because the month of December, he shot over 40% from 3. It's just he's playing 18 minutes a night, and he's having to kind of force shots instead of get them smoothly because he's out there a lot. So hopefully he gets into more minutes now that he's starting to play better because it's nice to see him back into his groove.
Yeah,
these last couple games at least.
Really hope he gets back into his rhythm where we saw Saddiq last year, where he was just this monster.
That's why I decided to wear this jersey today in honor of Saddiq Bey. 50-point game against the Magic. Now he's having a good game against them again. Just needed to show him some love after the hate he's been getting the past couple weeks.
And shout out the Magic for being our child. Yeah. Our little baby. Thank you.
They just are.
Did we lose to him first game of the year?
We beat him.
We beat him first game of the year?
Beef stew, buzzer beater in the corner.
Oh,
it wasn't a buzzer beater, but it was a game winner.
Yeah, I remember what you mean.
Also, one more thing I did want to talk about, too, was, because there's been talk about Saddiq coming back into the starting lineup. I don't really know who hits the bench. I think if you do bring Saddiq back, does Jaden Ivey hit the bench and he runs with the second unit? I don't really know necessarily. That's because I think Beef Stew and Duren gotta stay. Yeah. They're going to be the future 4-5 of the team.
Yep.
So they gotta stay. Killian's been playing too well to not let him stay because he's into this comfortable role now.
Ivy's numbers
Bogdanovich is not going to leave the starting lineup. No. But Ivy has been maybe not this game or last game, but last week he had his career high 30 points. He had a couple 20-point game stretches in a row. So maybe Saddiq does continue to come off the bench, but if he plays well, I don't know. We're in a tough spot because then you get games like this where Alec Burks is just going ballistic. Yeah. It's like he needs to play a lot.
I'm comfortable with Saddiq staying, coming off the bench. I think it gives us a lot of versatility for him to maybe come in at the 4, or he can come in at the wing immediately based on matchups. And if he's hot, we finish the game with him. I mean, I think that's the way this young Pistons team should build. But if he plays too well, I mean, at some point you have to promote him to a starter.
Yeah, exactly, because he has been a starter before. So
yeah, exactly.
We know what we can get out of him there. And then the one thing I did just want to talk about was with Jaden Ivey. One thing that does kind of concern me a little bit with Jaden Ivey, and I think it's just because he's a rookie and he still needs time to, build more team chemistry. But a lot of the times when he does his thing where, he just takes off at the hoop as fast as he can and loses the ball or does something crazy, flails to the ground, his teammates do not show great body language towards Ivy when he does that. It happens quite frequently.
Yeah,
where he really is trying to make a play and it doesn't work out. And it seems like they are really all right, dude, let's not do that anymore. So that's a little concerning as a fan, especially with Ivy being one of the nice young pieces of our team. But we're also we lose a lot of games. So it's hard to keep high team chemistry.
Yeah, and but the problem is he'll get the long rebound at the free throw line, and there are 3 guys running back, and he's the one. And he outruns all the Pistons players because he's faster than them.
Right.
And then he just, like you said, he flails up this terrible shot. If I'm his teammate, I'm doing the same shit. I'm throwing my hands in the air going, what are you doing, dog?
I notice it a lot with Beef Stew and Ivy too, which I think that's just how Beef Stew is. But so yeah, that's pretty much it for Pistons talk. All right, let's talk about we're going to do buy, sell, or stay put. The NBA trade deadline is the first week of February, or maybe it's the second week of February, a little over a month away. So we have plenty of time, but we're at a point in the NBA season. We're about 35-ish games into the season, almost halfway through the year, which is pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of teams that are right in the middle. I mean, we're talking the 1 seed in
every team.
1 seed in the West right now has 22 wins, and the 9 seed in the West has 19 wins. There's a 3-game difference. So there's a lot of teams that still can compete, or there's a lot of teams that are in the mix that maybe have to think, can we really outdo the rest of these teams? Should we fall off now?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through these teams. I am going to tell you their record, and we're going to talk about whether they should buy players and try to compete, sell players and fall off, or maybe they just stay where they're at and see how things go. Because we also have to consider what type of pieces they would be trading and everything for each team as well. I think a comfortable place to start is with the Dallas Mavericks. Buy, sell, or stay put. They're 19-16 right now. They are on a 4-game winning streak, so they were below 500 before this streak. What are we thinking?
To me, this team has always tried to be a buyer, and I shouldn't say tried. They have been a buyer. I think the thought process is we have a top 5 player, top 7 player in the NBA, and we need to build around him right now. We need to be winning right this second. It hasn't worked up until this point. It's put them in terrible situations. They don't make great picks. Every player they seem to get doesn't work out with Luka's heliocentric offense that he likes to run, where it's all based, that they like to run, where it's all based around him. I think they stay put. I think they run with this team. If they end up with a good pick, and do they have their pick? I have no idea. The Knicks might have it.
I think this is the last year the Knicks have their pick. Yes.
Damn.
I think the Knicks do have the Mavs pick.
So you low-key got to buy. I mean, you low-key have to buy. Because right now, they are not a good team. They are a bad team. If you're trying to win a championship and Spencer Dinwiddie is your second best player, it's a serious problem. You are not going to win a championship. You will make it to Luka can put you into the Western Conference Finals, maybe even the finals, but I don't think you're going to beat this Boston Celtics or the Bucks.
I agree, because as much as that run was great for them last year, I mean, it was over exceeding, like that team was not a Western Conference Finals team. They made it there because Luka is a phenomenal playoff player, but I think I agree with you with stay put for the Mavericks, or did you stick to buy?
I said buy. I'm going to go buy.
Because if this team... They had a player that fit with Luka and Jalen Brunson. That was really good. And obviously he's gone, which I understand. He got paid an absolute bag to go to New York. And he's played really well this year. So they had a player that fit well with Luka in that offense. I don't know where you get one from with the assets that they have. They don't have great assets. There's a lot of players on the market, though, that are available. It's I think the Chicago Bulls 2 stars, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. You might be able to get either of them for the right price. But it's just what do you have to go get those guys? And does it elevate your team to a championship team? I don't know.
Yeah, because then you're just rinse and repeating the Kristaps trade. We're going to trade for DeMar and LaVine, or either. They're both bad defenders. And you're going to be stuck in hell for the next 3 years because you don't have your picks.
Yeah.
And then if you lose games, you're screwed. I think you've made me switch. I think I'm going to stay put.
I think you stay put. See how this season goes. See how far Luka can take you. Maybe try and make some minor moves at the deadline, but I wouldn't necessarily call it buying. And then, I assume the Davis Bertans contract is off the books this offseason. Dinwiddie's I don't think is, but he has 1 year left, so it'd be good to trade. So you might have something to work with in the offseason, whereas it'd be a lot tougher to do right now in the regular season. All right, let's go to an obvious one. The Los Angeles Lakers. Do you buy, sell, or stay put? Currently, they are 14-20, the 13 seed in the Western Conference.
So this team is tough because they started off so rough and have been playing much better as of late. Not saying they've been playing great.
Right.
Russell Westbrook coming off the bench has been a great experiment. It's worked well. I think as long as you have Anthony Davis and LeBron James, you must buy. And I think what this team lacks is depth. That's the problem. They need to continue to get depth. It's not the easiest thing to do, to continue to make these trades.
Yeah.
I really hope they look to buy, but I don't know what it looks like for this roster.
You gotta buy. I mean, the way that LeBron James has been playing right now, you cannot just stay put with this team. I mean, he has put up 30 points in the last 8 games or whatever. He is having another phenomenal season. I think he turns 38. I think his birthday is New Year's Eve. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Either the New Year's Eve or the 30th. But I think he turns 38, right? Not 39?
I think he's 30. No, I
think he's 37, turned 30. Maybe it is 38, turning 39. I'm trying to think. Let me do the
year 19.
23. This is year 20. This is year 20.
So it's got to be 38.
Yeah, it'd be 38.
18.
Yeah, it'd be 38. So, turning 38, LeBron James, or would that be turning 39?
He came in at 18. This is year 20.
So if he came in at 18, that means he would have turned 19 his rookie year.
Yeah, so he's turning 39.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's how that would work. I don't know.
He's getting old. He's old as shit.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, it doesn't matter. Anthony Davis has played like an MVP this year. He obviously is injured right now, and he's injured for the foreseeable future, which is tough. We kind of all knew that would happen at some point this year. But, I get Rob Pelinka's mindset of, I don't want to trade the 2027 and 2029 pick because I think his reasoning was, I don't want to make the same mistake we have made the past couple years. 100% agree with that. I get what you're saying. You gave up a lot of future assets to win now, and you didn't win now. I mean, you did, like with the AD thing, you did get one ring. I guess you did, but it wasn't a sustainable win now. However, fuck them picks. You gotta pull the Sean McVay LA Rams right now.
Get rid of them.
You got the way that you have LeBron James, Anthony Davis right now. You know how much they could use a Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso from the Chicago Bulls, Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks from the Detroit Pistons, Miles Turner, Buddy Hield.
They would just become so much better overnight.
Exactly.
It would be unbelievable.
And it's I don't want to make the same mistake as back then, but you're just gonna sit around till 2027. It's all right, let's draft somebody with this pick and maybe they'll turn it around.
Yeah, hopefully we're terrible this year, so we have a good pick.
I understand the mindset of I don't want to trade all the future assets, but you've already traded most of the future assets.
You might as well commit.
You might as well commit to trading them all. Yeah. Exactly.
One foot in the door never works. You
gotta
need 2
buy.
feet in the door.
All right, next team. The Toronto Raptors, who have struggled this year, they are 15-19, sitting at the 10 seed right now in the Eastern Conference. Buy, sell, or stay put?
They're a team that I think is in between sell and stay put. They have massively underperformed. I'm hoping they stay put. I don't want to see anybody leave or move. I think you just take your pick and you roll and you go into next season.
Sadiq for 3 again. He is balling tonight. Sorry.
No, you're all right. I think that this team is good. I think they're having a bad year. I think they will turn around. Scotty Barnes is going through a sophomore slump. I think they'll be okay. I would prefer them to stay put. I don't want them to buy. Just please do not buy. Just be okay with being bad for a year. You can be bad, Rap. You're not never bad.
Yeah, exactly. They are never bad. The one year they're bad, they got Scotty Barnes, and then they were good again. I think you stay put because the way that Pascal Siakam has played this year, it'd be really difficult to convince the fan base to sell unless you are selling Pascal Siakam.
Yep.
So unless you are trading him away and committing to the full rebuild, it wouldn't really make sense to trade Van Vliet or Anunoby or Gary Trent with the way that Siakam is playing. I think you have to. Now, don't buy. I don't think buying is the answer either. I think stay put is the true answer here for the Raptors because they have a good roster. They just have not played well this year. Mm-hmm. So maybe they can improve. If not, you're a play-in team. You have a really good player. You have a defensive player of the year candidate in OG. You still have a shot at making some noise, but regroup and go at it again next year. Stay put. All right, next team. The Atlanta Hawks, currently at 17-17, 9 seed in the Eastern Conference. Another team that is underperformed.
I mean, they need to buy. And when I say buy, they need to buy out their coach. Your coach cannot be beefing with your star player, not making him not want to show up to games.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. I don't care what is going on in the locker room. If I am in the Atlanta Hawks organization, I'm looking around going, what the hell is going on? Our star player doesn't want to play because of the head coach because he got in an argument with him. That's a terrible look. Buy out your coach. That's what you need to do. Get a new coach. Let's see what's going on.
And it's weird because since that point, Trae Young has played much better since then, which he struggled efficiency-wise to start the year. He's played a lot better since that point, which is kind of weird. But I'm going to say sell, but as in it's time to trade John Collins. It's been a thing for 3 or 4 years now. John Collins is having the worst year of his career right now. I think he's only averaging 13 points per game, really having a down year.
He wanted a max contract at some point.
Yeah, exactly. DeJounte Murray has been pretty good when healthy. He has been hurt for a decent amount of time. I think he's back now. But he has been pretty good on this Hawks team. So I think having John Collins in that max slot doesn't really make sense. You got to get someone that fits the role better with Trae Young and DeJounte. So sell John Collins and make some more moves around the edges to make this team good because they definitely have the potential to be really good. Sadiq Bey and Alec Burks combined for 60 points off the bench tonight. 32 from Burks, 28 from Bey.
And Sadiq Bey is the only one that missed a shot out of the two.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Alec didn't miss.
Unreal game tonight out of the pit. They are going to win. I don't see them choking 21 points with a minute to go.
I hope not.
So we're good with that. All right, we'll do a few more. The Indiana Pacers right now are exceeding expectations at 18-17 at the 7 seed in the Eastern Conference. Buy, sell, or stay put?
Oh, I think this is a team that sells. You get rid of Miles Turner. You get rid of Buddy Hield. It doesn't even have to be both of them. It can be one of the two. You just don't really have a shot. If you make the playoffs, what are you guys going to do to beat these stellar teams? That's where I think that it's time to sell for them.
I agree with sell. It is good for the young core that these guys are winning games, but Miles Turner and Buddy Hield are a large part of it. And are they part of the future? Maybe Miles Turner is, if they decide to commit to him long term. But I don't think so. Buddy Hield clearly isn't. I have Buddy Hield in fantasy, so if he goes somewhere else, hopefully it's somewhere where he can still shoot a lot of threes. Because he's pretty good in fantasy this year. So I'm gonna go with sell here. They have a really good young core. You could benefit from getting another top pick in the draft. So I think, and even though you are the 7th seed right now, there's plenty of time left to fall off. Not saying you have to fall off, but like, it's sell. Maybe you sell and your team is still good, and that's fine, But you sell Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, you're gonna get some future assets anyways.
I definitely think Buddy Hield, like, if you're gonna trade one of them, and if you had to, you have to trade Buddy Hield just because of Mathurin.
I agree.
Mathurin needs to be a full-time starter.
And you have Chris Duarte still. You have
not that he's a young piece.
Yeah, exactly. He's a young, like, as in hasn't played. Alec Burks just missed his first shot with 20 seconds to go.
Why'd you do that?
He airballed it.
Why did he do that?
I mean, it was pretty open, but like
he airballed it?
Yeah, he airballed it. I don't know why. Bol, what are you doing? All right. Next team, the Portland Trail Blazers. Currently, here's Alec Burks' shot, by the way. Just completely all there. Currently 18-16, 8 seed in the Western Conference right now. Portland Trail Blazers. Buy, sell, or stay put?
This is an interesting team. If I were the Portland Trail Blazers, I would be buying. Damian Lillard is getting older. You have Anthony Simons, a budding young player. Have they already bought, though? Was buying getting Jeremy Grant?
I don't think so, because they also sold last year and then bought Jeremy Grant.
They retooled.
It's almost they retooled, but they haven't wasted any assets by any means.
It'd be pretty sweet if they got a player like Miles Turner. That would be pretty dope.
That would be nice.
That would be pretty sick. And that team would be good. Oh, man, I actually like that. Yeah, they have to buy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Dame's getting older. He's not going anywhere.
Right.
He's not leaving.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sell him. Yeah, absolutely you're buying.
I think you buy too, yeah. Jeremy Grant is also having a career year. I would say career year. Obviously, it's not as many points per game as his first year with Detroit. I think he still is averaging 21 or 22, though.
His 3-point percentage.
But exactly, he's shooting 45% from 3. I was actually just looking at his percentages today. He is having a phenomenal year, and obviously we know what he brings on the defensive end. Him as a second or third option on a team is much more suiting for him now that he's revamped his style of play. Like you said, you have Dame, and I think you are in a spot to buy that it's okay because you have Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons, I'm a huge Anthony Simons guy. I think he's super underrated. I think he could be an all-star this year potentially. I don't know if Dame and him obviously both get it, but since you have Anthony Simons, I think it's okay to buy and maybe trade away a couple picks down the line and try to go for it this year.
Yeah.
In a Western Conference that is pretty wide open. I would say it's pretty wide open. I don't think
4 games out of the 1 seed.
Exactly. Yeah, they are 4 less wins than the 1 seed right now. It's not saying that they are they could win it all or anything, but I don't think there is a favorite in the West at all right now. So for sure, buy Portland Trail Blazers. Want to do one more, or should we call it at that?
Let's call it at that.
Yeah,
because there's a couple things we got to talk about before we get into football.
Right, yeah, because we could do more next time anyway.
Yeah, easily.
Because we have a month before trade deadline. So that was just a small... I was trying to do a lot of teams that are right around 500 pretty much was my goal.
Okay. Hey, shout out our boy Willie. If you look directly behind me, if you're watching YouTube...
we have to mention it.
Big ol' signed Hassan Haskins jersey, Ohio State's father. He might be getting the start this week as Derrick Henry could possibly be out.
He's out, yeah.
He is now out.
Well, he's doubtful, but he's not going to play, which is terrible because I'm in my championship game in fantasy. And
Paul's the same way. Paul's sitting
Shout out to
way.
everybody in the championship game without Derrick Henry. It's going to be a rough. I picked up Haskins, but I don't think I'm going to start.
I would. I mean, 5 touchdowns against Ohio State.
Should I?
Crazy.
Brian Robinson or Haskins?
Oh, that's terrible.
I think I start Brian Robinson because I think Gibson's out.
Yeah, probably Brian.
Brian Robinson's projected he's
Cleveland.
projected like 14,
Really?
which is kind of high.
Really? Yeah, they're playing Cleveland, which
They're pretty bad on defense. Anyways, though, back to the jersey.
Yeah, shout out Willie. He got us a signed Hassan Haskins jersey.
Yep, he's had it for a long time. He just got the frame
for Christmas.
So it was a void. We had a whole. Obviously, I'm a Michigan State guy, but it's cool. Like, it's a signed jersey. Like, it's pretty freaking cool. Just got to get a K9 one and hang it up, too.
And that's the way we
have another frame. You can't see it on the camera, but Willie got a second frame, and he just, said we could use it.
Yeah, we're lacking jerseys for it, signed jerseys for it. We could put we could put my Carmelo Anthony one in there.
That's not a bad idea.
So I have a quick story time. I have a Carmelo Anthony jersey signed by Jim Boeheim, his college coach at Syracuse, and third on the all-time win list. I was at a Team USA game in Las Vegas, and it was crazy. I was like, I didn't know who Jim Boeheim was at the time. I was super young, but I was like, hey, can you sign this? And of course, it's a Melo jersey.
Yeah,
he's not going to say no.
That works out perfect. He's Knicks one.
Yeah. Oh, cool, dude. It was awesome. I also got I signed. Or a Bulls hat signed by Tom Thibodeau.
Oh, I do remember that.
But it was he got fired prior to
tough,
it. But you talk about this.
Oh yeah, and then for Christmas, I think my sister got me this too. She balled out for me.
Shout out Cassie.
Yeah. She got me this Aiden Hutchinson. I don't even know what to describe it. It's just it's a Aiden Hutchinson thing.
What? They've been loud this whole time.
I don't know what is going on. But it's Aiden Hutchinson. It has a picture of him getting his first sack, and then it's a couple Michigan rookie cards on the side of it there. So
it's kind of like a shrine.
Yeah, that would be a good word to describe it as.
We are honoring him. We're obsessed with him.
It's pretty dope. Those are some new additions to the studio.
And then you, before we got started, dropped this bombshell on me. I gotta tell you where I'm going tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And you said, or should I say it for the podcast? I said save it. So where are you going tomorrow?
I will be attending the Central Michigan and Michigan basketball game tomorrow down in Ann Arbor.
How did you do that?
My uncle's going because my cousin's the trainer for CMU.
Oh yeah,
and it's his father-in-law, my uncle. And he texted me today and was like, because he told me he was going at family Christmas. He was like, yeah, I'm going to the CMU Michigan game. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. That's cool. And he texted me today. He goes, hey, Kyle, I'm going to that game. I got an extra ticket. You don't got to go if you don't want, but do you want to go?
And you're like, hell yeah.
It's yeah, I go to CMU and I can go watch Michigan. Yeah.
You're gonna be decked out in Central gear.
Exactly. Oh yeah, for sure.
Crazy drip.
Fire up for sure.
You should be the guy that gets on the camera every other time for the CMU fan. Yeah. Get a big foam finger, huge.
And then when CMU
finger.
Upsets Michigan, it's gonna be nuts. No, they will not happen. No,
isn't CMU terrible?
They're really bad. Yeah, really terrible. So yeah, that's where I will be tomorrow.
Awesome. That's so
I've never been to the Chrysler Center either, so
it's cool.
I'm pretty excited to go there.
I've only been once.
Even though no one goes to their games anymore, so we'll see how
especially not over Christmas break.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody goes.
No one's gonna be there. It's CMU, dude. There might be more CMU fans there.
Yeah, I went to the Air Force game. That's the only game I've ever been to. Yeah. There was nobody there, and we were sitting in way up high.
Yeah,
and it was huh. You think we just walk down there? Would they really tell us we can't? We already bought the tickets.
Yeah.
Just let us walk down there.
Right. All right. Is that pretty much it for other than football talk?
I think it's other than Big Ten basketball's back.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention that pretty much. It's Big Ten basketball starts at the calendar date, starts 2023, and it's going to be a bloodbath. Just once again, it's going to be Michigan State barely gets in the tournament and then loses in round 1 or 2. It's just going to happen. But next year will be really good. So we got that.
There's always next year.
We got that class coming in. So
there's always next year. That's the best part about sports.
Yeah,
there's always next year.
There is always next year. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Weekly picks.
Big week.
It was a big week last week. Easton was up 9-6 with 3 weeks to go. I had to win to tie it up. So you already know it had to be close. Easton got 11 out of 19. Solid game. Nothing wrong with that. You'll take an 11 any day of the week. Went 1 for 3 on the spread picks to take you to 30 on the year.
1 for 3 is bad.
It is.
That's an L.
You know what's worse? Maybe my second worst performance of the year. Could not step up when it mattered most. 8 out of 19 for me. 0 for 3 on the spread picks. and I lose. I officially lost
you're done.
weekly picks. It sucks. It was so anticlimactic.
It didn't finish the way the writers.
Because now we have 2 weeks
intended.
left, and it's just like
we're still gonna
do it.
picks.
But like now I can just make wild picks because it doesn't even matter.
And now I can make wild picks.
This just sucks because like I know which picks did me wrong. I picked the Giants to beat Minnesota. Greg Joseph freaking 70-yard field goal to win the game.
100-yard.
I picked the Patriots to beat Cincy. Ramondre Stevenson fumbles it on the 5-yard line when they're going to win. Like, that would have been a 2-game swing either way. I once again bet against the Houston Texans against the spread. I took Tennessee minus 4.5. They just straight up lost the game. Like, I should have known Houston was bound to win the way they've been playing. So yeah, there was more than that too, but that's just all.
Those are the big.
I did pick Green Bay to win, which was like a ballsy pick, and that did happen. But that's the only one I know. And the Lions, obviously. Well, let's talk about the Lions.
Oh my God.
That's something I've noticed we've done a lot this year is when the Lions lose, we like don't really talk about them like at all. And then when they win, we talk about them so much. Let's talk about them a little bit since they lost. First of all,
let's change.
To Lions fans, trust me, I think it is 100% viable to be upset after that game. 100%. We played terrible. Second worst game of the year, probably behind the New England game. We just did not come ready to play, and Carolina outplayed us the entire game, for sure. To Lions fans that were expecting us to finish the year 9-1 and are upset that we didn't, is a little unreal.
Yeah.
To go 9-1
is crazy
in any 10-game stretch of an NFL season out of any team. What team has done it this year? Philly?
Yeah, that's it.
Minnesota? I don't think they have. I don't think they've gone 9-1 through 10 games. It doesn't happen very often. So not saying like I was expecting us to lose, but it's like at some point it's going to come to an end. Hopefully this can, get us going, fuel us for these last few games. But just a bad loss.
Yeah, I instantly I was like, oh shit, like this is terrible. This is so bad.
It did ruin Christmas for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Well, especially Christmas Eve, you're sitting there opening all your gifts. Oh, here's a Lions hoodie. Oh, here's a Lions t-shirt. Yeah. What the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, I'm gonna burn it. Like I don't know. And then Christmas Day, Green Bay wins and the Rams win. It's just like this is
the Ram win was bad.
This is the worst Christmas ever.
Wow, our lives suck. But it really does suck. However, I'm a big believer in emotional letdowns after achieving your goals. The Lions have been fighting for a long time to get back to 500. It takes a lot of emotions to get back to that 500. We finally hit it. And the week after, our emotions probably just aren't as high. It's probably a lot harder to get up for that game and be super intense. So I kind of understand. It's like when you beat your rival, there's a good chance you lose the next game or at least come out slow the next game. And that's what I think happened with this Lions team. I think they finally got back to 500, got a little complacent, had an emotional letdown. And I think that's going to be it. I'm really hoping this now just pumps them up. Here was your loss. Okay, now you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Now it's back to we have to win football games. I think this team's better when they're at that point.
I agree, too. When our backs are against the wall, that's where we play the best. We had to crawl back, and I think, like you said, we got to the point where it was like, we have a little bit of breathing room now. We got comfortable.
Yeah.
And, we were in a spot where if we won last week, we could have moved in. Actually, we would have moved into that 7th spot in the playoffs. So, obviously, a little bit too much. We got way too comfortable for that game. Carolina's been playing well lately. They are one of the best running teams in the NFL. Very underrated defense as well. They've been good since the switching back to Sam Darnold at quarterback.
Well, I think who's their interim head coach? They fired Matt Rule.
It is
we don't have to know his name.
I know his name, and I'm not gonna be able to say.
I think he's 5-1. Or no, he's not 5-1. No way, he's 5-1.
No, he's not 5-1
He's been really good.
He's probably over 500.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Yeah,
that's the number. With nobody. They traded away Christian McCaffrey and said, well, I guess now's the time to make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Now's the time to win the division.
And there's still a good chance to win the division, obviously.
And they play Tampa Bay this week.
Yeah, they're in a position where if they run the table, all they got to do is win their last 2 games. They win the division.
So crazy.
Because they have Tampa, and then I'm pretty sure they have New Orleans. Yeah, so those are the other 2 teams that are live still. They win out. They win the division, which would be unreal if that happened.
So crazy.
But yeah, Lions, we got to step it up this week. Yep. We'll talk about the game a little bit more when we get there. But we need individual players to step up, especially. I thought the offense was fine. I think Jared Goff had a very good game. Despite the fumble, it wasn't really on him anyways. A lot of hate going at Jared Goff for this game. I don't think so.
Like, stop that. It's the best year of his career.
Defensively was the main issue. Jeff Okudah really struggled in this game. Missing Deshaun Elliott has these last two games has really shown how impactful he's been to this team. He was a top 3 safety leader in sacks before he went down and injured, or not sacks, tackles, I mean.
I was going to say sacks is a weird stat.
So he was top 3 in tackles at his position in tackles. And clearly that shows with the, no one was making any plays. I mean, they were running 8 yards every single time they ran the ball. We need the defensive line to step back up to the way they were playing. I mean, we were stopping the run really effectively the last few weeks up until this point. So changes need to be made coming into this week because the Bears, they're not good. They're on like a 10-game losing streak or something, but like it's still a division game, rivalry game, young team trying to prove something. They want to screw stuff up. So we got to win.
Yeah, I have to.
All right, let's get into it. High tempo weekly picks.
High tempo weekly picks.
All NFL games of the week.
What teams are going to cover the spread?
Season 3. Welcome back. Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir. High tempo weekly picks.
All right, let's get into it. Like I said, Easton has officially won weekly picks. 3-time champion now. I still have yet never won weekly picks. So
hell yeah!
Shout out to you for winning them.
Hey, I would rather. There's nobody in the world I'd rather compete with.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, nobody.
But you know what I'm going for? I'm going for the spread pick champ. I gotta beat you. And you're beating me by 3 right now. I gotta lock them down.
Yep.
So that's at least I got something to go for here. Thursday Night Football. We have the 11-4 Dallas Cowboys taking on the 7-8. Ice cold Tennessee Titans.
the coldest of teams. I mean, so bad. Dallas is favored by I think 12.5 in this game, which is crazy.
It's crazy, but like I might take it. I don't know.
I got Dallas winning this game.
Yeah, I taken Dallas. Did not mess with the spread. You said it 12.5
it's ridiculous.
Outrageously high for a home team. That was, it still has a chance of making the playoffs.
It was good at one point this year.
Like they were 7-3 at one point this year. Ryan Tannehill is done for the year. It's Malik Willis. Derrick Henry's out.
Is Ryan Tannehill a choice? Was that a choice?
He was injured.
Okay.
He's been out the last like 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, I think Tennessee legit might blow it up this offseason. I'm not really sure. We'll see.
It's a good idea.
But they might. I mean, with the way that they really fumbled this season, give me Dallas. Next, we have a crazy, fun, important game. The 6-9 Carolina Panthers taking on the 7-8 Tampa Bay Bucks.
If you're going to beat us, you might as well win the division and make the playoffs. Go give me Carolina in this game.
Yeah, I'm taking Carolina as well. Tampa has, I don't want to say stepped it up, but like they've won the last couple of games.
They're terrible.
Like I don't even want to say they've stepped it up, but it's like this is the time of year where like if Tom Brady's in the playoffs, I still am always going to count them in to go on a run. So now's the time where they really got to get hot. They won the game on Christmas. It wasn't a good win by any means. It was against a really bad Cardinals team.
They actually play the worst style of football.
Oh yeah, they're terrible to watch.
So
I don't
bad.
enjoy watching. And they don't score a lot of points. Their offense is really boring. Their defense is pretty good.
Is Tom Brady even good anymore?
I don't know.
I don't want to.
After the playoffs, we'll be able to answer that question. But give me Carolina. Yeah, give me Carolina. Next, we have the 6-9 Cleveland Browns taking on the 7-1 Washington Commanders.
Do the Lions need something to happen in this game?
We could desperately use a Washington loss, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I picked Cleveland. Good.
Yeah.
Go Cleveland. Go to Deshaun Watson.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Too far. Yeah, give me Cleveland as well. It's tough to pick them because Deshaun Watson has not been good since he's come
terrible.
back. Their defense is not good. Another year of the Cleveland Browns disappointing. But we got to root for them. That was a weird sound.
That was a weird sound. Did that come from your mic?
Yeah, it was the clip right here.
Oh, gotcha.
It's really weird. Did you hear it in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Cleveland, though. We really need Washington to lose. Washington is switching QBs at this point in the year. They decide now, let's go back to Carson Wentz over Taylor Heineke. He's getting the start.
Has to be the worst coaching decision ever.
Right? I mean, yeah, I get it. Like, you lost the last 2 games, but like you played against San Francisco last week. Like, that's a really good team. 2 games left in the year, and you're currently in the playoffs. Boom, let's switch QBs. Ron Rivera, you're a good coach historically, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to judge you too much yet, But if Carson Wentz plays like shit, bad decision.
Bad. It could be a bad football
And I think he
move.
will, so give me Cleveland. Next, we have the 6-9 New Orleans Saints taking on the 13-2 Philadelphia Eagles.
Even being Jalen Hurts-less, I still think this team is much, much better. I think defensively they're going to be fine against New Orleans. Give me Philly.
Yeah, I'm taking Philly as well. The spread, I think, was like 5.5 in this, so it's pretty tight. I don't think Hurts has been ruled out yet, right? Like I
don't think so.
I assume Minshew will start, but New Orleans is still playing for something. They have a chance at winning the division still. It's going to be tough. But because obviously you have to beat Philly on the road. Philly did lose last week to Dallas in a really tight game that I think if Jalen Hurts plays, Philly wins 100%. So Cowboys fans are overreacting to that win for
like
sure.
Always.
But so yeah, give me Philly. Next we have the 4-11, maybe worst team in the NFL, Arizona Cardinals, taking on the 5-10 Atlanta Falcons.
Arizona almost ruined D-Hop's catch streak in their last game. It took him till the fourth quarter
10 targets
to get his one catch. This team is so bad. There is no team worse. Atlanta should win this game by a mile.
Yeah, the meme lord Trace McSorley is just not it, unfortunately. However, the Lions could benefit from the Arizona Cardinals losing this or winning this game. Over the Atlanta Falcons, because if the Rams obviously won last week, so the Lions pick fell to 7 or 6 or 7, one of the two. Kind of sucks. Whatever. Baker Mayfield.
I'm low-key not a Baker fan anymore.
No, like he really did ruin our season. So give me the Cardinals to win this game. You know, they got to win one at some point. J.J. Watt is retiring. Like, you got to really step it up for J.J. these last couple games.
Yeah.
Next, we have the red-hot 7-8 Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the red-hot 2-12-1 Houston Texans.
Red hot? Absolutely. Give me Houston. I mean, you're beating out Tennessee's a better football team than Jacksonville. I don't care who you are. I don't actually know if that's true.
I don't think so, yeah.
But give me Houston. Let's shits and giggles. I want this.
Okay. Houston's in dangerous territory now. They won last week, and the couple weeks before that, they were flirting with winning. I don't know if they just wanted to get that second win and call it good, but if they win this week, they lose that first overall pick. It goes to the Bears because of their tie. So they're playing with fire here. Jacksonville obviously wants to win the division. They are in the lead right now. So I'm going to take Jacksonville. I think Houston is they're playing with their food a little too much. They gotta cool off a little bit.
Well, they might do it for JJ. They could do it for J.J. Watt. Shout out J.J. Watt.
They could do it for J.J. Watt, even though he's not on their team.
But he's Mr. Houston.
Yeah,
he is Houston.
Right. All right, next we have the 3-12 Chicago Bears taking on your very own 7-8 Detroit Lions.
Give me the Lions. Give me their spread at -5.5. Easy money. It's so easy. Detroit, I'm really hopeful. We come out, we stop the run quickly, and we just take Chicago right out of the game immediately. But Chicago's defense is still solid. They're frisky. This Chicago team isn't. I mean, they don't win games, but they're not terrible.
Yeah.
You're not just going to kill them.
Yeah, give me the Lions. This is going to be. I didn't want to take the spread just because it does scare me. There's a world where we win the last two games and we still don't get in the playoffs. We're going to talk playoff scenarios actually at the end here. You got to win this game. You got to come back. I was going to take the spread because we need to make a statement and win this game handedly. Especially because Chicago is in a spot to potentially get the first overall pick if Houston wins. So give me the Lions. We have to win this game.
Yeah, Chicago, we're going to help you out here. We're going to help you out.
Exactly. We're just being friendly.
Yeah.
Help us help you.
Yeah, and then you help us.
Exactly. Next, we have the 8-7 ice cold Miami Dolphins taking on the 7-8 New England Patriots.
You really thinking about Tua? I mean, I'm really hopeful Tua's okay. He's gone through a lot.
He's
this
officially
year.
ruled out, I think, for this week now. I think they announced today Teddy Bridgewater will be the starter.
Do you see what Brandon Marshall was going on saying about it? Just about how the smart thing to do would just be retire at this moment. He said nothing is worth
hard
it at
to
this
do,
moment.
but
it is. Obviously, that's...
I get that perspective,
yeah,
but
Brandon Marshall's got the hindsight.
It's easy to come from a retired player, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He says, I was the tough guy. I loved the macho-ness of the NFL. He said, but looking back at it, it's just not worth it.
100%.
It really sucks to see Tua continue to get these head injuries. His head's bouncing off the turf. It feels like every week at this point.
And that one was bad. That was in the first half.
It was.
And then he threw 3 picks in the second half. It's like,
come on, guys. Like,
does it not get checked out here? Like that's something's missing.
He's the guy who, the rule was made because of him, and we're not checking on him the most.
It was a pretty hard hit to the ground.
Oh man, I feel so bad for him. I'm just really hopeful he can get healthy. I wouldn't mind if Miami kind of throws in the towel this year. I know they're not going to. They still have Teddy Bridgewater and everything, but it just with Tua is what I mean. I just don't want to see him continue to get hurt. Give me Miami in this game still, though.
These are two teams that are fighting. Right now, Miami is the 7 seed. New England is the 8 seed. This is a humongous game for both of these teams.
I think New England's favored.
I think New England is favored. You're right. Probably because of the Tua injury. Miami's got to rally here. They've been struggling as of lately. They choked that game against Green Bay. They got to pull out a win here, so I'm going to go with Miami, and I believe they clinch playoffs if they win this one. Next, we have the 4-11 Denver Broncos taking on the 12-3 Kansas City Chiefs.
Nothing funnier than watching Russell Wilson suck. He's so bad. Christmas was just... We were just sitting there laughing about how bad Russell Wilson was. And there was half the room that's like, oh, well, I kind of like Russell Wilson. The other half's like, what? You like Russell Wilson? I don't even know. Kansas City should blow this team out of the water. Denver's so bad.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City here. However,
spread's too big.
A couple weeks ago, this was only 3 weeks ago when Kansas City and Denver played. I think the spread was 10.5. I took Denver. And it paid off. They actually did cover. Listen, Denver doesn't have their pick. I say this a lot, but I know they got blown out on Christmas terribly. The team chemistry, Nathaniel Hackett fired, which, by the way, getting fired before the season is even over in your first year without doing some Urban Meyer-esque things is a crazy thing that happens. That's just unfortunate. I low-key almost feel a little bad for Nathaniel Hackett. But I don't because he was Green Bay, whatever.
He's just bad.
I'm going to take Denver plus 12.5. Something I like to do is take the team that their coach gets fired. They're going to be fired up. I'm not picking them to win by any means at all. But I think they can cover. I don't think they can cover, but it's just the pick that I'm going with.
Yep.
Next, we have the 4-10-1 Indianapolis Colts taking on the 8-6-1 New York Giants.
I don't really know what to think about these two teams at this point. I mean, I think the Colts are bad. I don't know what to think about the Giants. I think they're better than the Colts. That's all I think. Give me the Giants in this game.
My Aunt Patty just texted me and said, hey, Kyle, can't wait for the podcast on the Pistons outbreak tonight. Shout out Aunt Patty for listening to this. We already went over it, so yeah. Who did you pick?
Giants.
Yeah, I picked Giants, but we really could use a Giants loss, but I don't think the Colts. I mean, Nick Foles struggled. I mean, he really struggled. I don't know what the Colts are going to do going forward. I think it actually is confirmed that Derek Carr will be the next quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts after he is getting benched.
It's so bad.
And he's stepping away from the Raiders for the last 2 games,
what?
too. Yeah, so he was not even going to be a part of the team.
I didn't see that.
Well, they came out and said that Jarrett Stidham was going to start, and then it came out that Carr is going to step away from the team for the last 2 games. So it's pretty much confirmed he will be gone as a Raider next year, as well as Josh Jacobs. If Josh Jacobs and Derek Carr are gone, does that mean Devontae Adams is gone? I don't know.
What does that even look
under
like?
Contract, so he'd have to get traded. And the Colts is just the perfect team for Derek Carr. So why not lose another game just to really show Derek Carr, hey,
we're ready.
We're waiting for you, buddy. Come on.
You could come lose here.
Exactly. You're the next one. So give me the Giants. Next, we have the 7-8 New York Jets taking on the 7-8 Seattle Seahawks.
I think I'm going to switch my pick here. I've got Jets written down. I don't want the Jets to win this game. I just kind of want Seattle to win it, I guess.
Oh, really?
Does that matter?
Yeah, it really matters.
Jets. Go Jets.
I definitely don't want Seattle to win. Yeah.
Go Jets.
Yeah, give me the Jets. Mike White is back. Zach Wilson will be inactive for the last 2 games of the year, they announced, or he won't be. I forget the term they use. He's not going to be available to play, pretty much. Mike White's back. They're in a position to win. Give me the Jets. Give me the Jets minus 1.5. Seattle, keep on losing. They need to finish with 1 less loss than us because we don't own the tiebreaker with them. So, and they have the Rams next week. So, please win. Please just lose this one.
Please lose this one.
Next, we have the 11-4 San Francisco 49ers taking on the 6-9 Las Vegas Raiders.
So why do I recognize the name Jared Stidham?
He was with New England. Was he with New England? I think he was with New England as a backup. But he's a young QB.
Gotcha.
I can't remember the college. Willie would know what college he went to, but I don't know.
Man, I guess
I think he was with New England, though.
I think that's probably where I know. I
Last
just know
year,
the
I think
name.
he was, yeah.
But, like, benching your QB that was supposed to be your franchise QB with 2 games to go in the season after trading for his favorite wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's a terror. This Raiders team
From a
is just
first-year head
terrible.
coach as well.
It's so bad. I'm taking San Francisco, and I'm taking them at -10.
Yeah, give me San Fran. It's unfortunate because I'm a big Derek Carr believer. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback, and I think he has just been a quarterback of a team with a terrible defense for his entire career, which sucks because like they have Devontae Adams, they have Derek Carr, they have Josh Jacobs, who is going to probably finish the year as the NFL's leading rusher. Probably going to be gone next year, at least Carr and Jacobs for sure.
Yep.
Devontae, I mean, it would have to take a trade because he's under contract, but it's unfortunate that this Raiders team is going through this. So give me San Francisco because the Raiders are still, technically, they are not eliminated from the playoffs.
That's crazy.
Like, why?
Why?
I understand, but like, you have a shot at still getting in the playoffs. I know you lost a tough one against the Steelers, which was a really good game, by the way. But like, I don't like the move out of Josh McDaniels, if I'm being honest. I don't respect the move. I don't understand it. I get the team chemistry is probably really bad and you want to tank or whatever, but it's just it's unprofessional, I guess.
It's a big emotional move too. Like there's a lot of emotion behind this move. I bet you there's a lot of guys in that locker room who do love
There's
Derek
probably a
Carr.
reason why Derek Carr is stepping away from the team for the last 2 games after that came out. Next, we have the 12-3 Minnesota Vikings taking on the 7-8 Green Bay Packers.
Need Green Bay to lose this game. I don't want them to have any reason to try to win at the end of the year. This is getting so scary.
It is. I see it. I've already seen the ending.
You saw it 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
You saw it when we started winning two games
It's
in a row.
going to come down to Week 18, Green Bay, Detroit. Winner gets in. I've seen it 2 or 3 times in my life. It never ends well.
Oh my God. Let's just Minnesota just win this game.
Just win this one. Another trap game. This is very similar to the Lions-Vikings game. The Green Bay Packers are favored to win, except when the Lions were favored.
Crazy.
When the Lions were favored, it was like 1 or 2 points. The Green Bay is like 3.5 to win.
So annoying. Why do we?
Because they want you to bet on Minnesota because they know Minnesota's not going to win.
Minnesota.
However, I think Minnesota takes this as a sign of disrespect. You know, they came out against the Lions. They saw, we're not favored against the Lions. And then they lose, and they're like, damn, they knew. This week, they got to be like, you know what? We are going to make some people some freaking money this weekend. Give me the Vikings to win this game. It's not going to, however, it would be nice if winner takes all Lions-Packers game and we won.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
It'd be awesome.
Let's flip the script.
But let's just
Nah.
we can avoid it.
Yeah.
Give me Minnesota. Next, we have the Battle of Los Angeles, the 5-10 Rams taking on the 9-6 Chargers.
So, screw you, Baker Mayfield, and you being so good at football
Damn you.
and winning games the way
Cam
you
Akers,
do.
you.
Oh, this team stinks. I hate them. I hated watching them win on Christmas. It was terrible. I hope the Chargers just beat the shit out of them. I just want to see them get mollywopped.
Yeah, give me the Chargers. However, the Chargers did clinch playoffs last week, so maybe they're not playing their best game this game. I'm taking the Rams plus 6.5 because Baker is trying to play for a job next year. Clearly, on their blowout win, they're going to keep trying to win games these last, even though they're pointless games. So give me the Rams plus 6.5. Sunday Night Football, we have a AFC North showdown. The 7-8 Pittsburgh Steelers looking to get into the playoffs are taking on the 10-5 Baltimore Ravens.
Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Pittsburgh. What am I doing? Why am I low-key just like...
And you picked Pittsburgh last week, and I picked the Raiders, and that was a key pick to our weekly picks.
I picked Pittsburgh like this is going to be my 3rd week in a row.
Weird.
I know.
And they're winning?
And I don't know why. I'm just like, low-key, the Steelers bandwagon is kind of hard. I'm not hopping on it, though, but still, Pittsburgh. I beat the Ravens. You might as well.
Yeah, I'm taking Pittsburgh as well. Ravens have already clinched. I don't know if Lamar Jackson is going to be back or not. This is a huge game. Steelers got to win to potentially get in. So give me the Steelers. Monday Night Football. We have the 12-3 Buffalo Bills taking on the 11-4 Cincinnati Bengals. What a fun game this one is.
What an awesome Monday night game. This game should be an absolute hoot. We should be hollering, and hollering during the game.
Both.
These These two teams are both Super Bowl contenders. This is a humongous game. Give me Buffalo. Give me -1.5.
Give me the Cincinnati Bengals. This game doesn't matter a crap ton, but however, I think if Cincy wins, they jump up to the 1 seed, I think.
Probably.
Because Buffalo is 12-3, Kansas City's 12-3, Cincy's 11-4, but they would have beaten Buffalo and Kansas City.
Have tiebreaker over
So
both
they
of them.
would jump up to the 1 seed.
Well, unless Kansas City wins this week. Then
Oh,
they're
you're right.
13-3.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. So they would jump up to the 2 seed.
Yeah, they jump
but
in front of Buffalo.
Quite an important game for both of these teams, so it's going to be fun. I'm going to take Cincy. They've been hot. So's Buffalo, but I'm just going to take Cincy. All right, we're going to go through the playoff picture quickly to end this episode. Just to talk about, because I wrote down the final 2 games for each team that like is alive but isn't clinched.
Gotcha.
So right now, let's go over the AFC first because the AFC is pretty wild. Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincy, top 3 have all clinched. Jacksonville right now is the 4 seed, but I think it all comes down to the Week 18 game. They have Houston this week and they have Tennessee. I think no matter what happens to Tennessee this week, I think the division comes down to Week 18, Tennessee versus Jacksonville.
That's awesome.
'Cause I'm pretty sure Tennessee owns the tiebreaker over Jacksonville.
Gotcha.
So they can get in at 8 and 9 pretty much and win the division. So that's going to be really fun to see. Baltimore's the 5 seed. They've clinched. LA is the 6 seed. They have clinched. 7 seed is Miami. They're at New England this week. And then they have the Jets the following week. So another division game with another team that's right there. Gonna be fun. Like I said, New England is at 7 and 8. They have Miami this week. Then they're at Buffalo in week 18, which couldn't be as bad if Buffalo wins this week. They could
might
lock
sit
up the 1 seed, so they could sit everyone. The Jets have at Seattle this week and then at Miami. 2 teams that are trying to get in the playoffs. It's going to be tough, but Mike White is back. Tennessee Titans at 7 and 8. They're still only a game out. Dallas this week. Jacksonville. Like I said, I think it doesn't matter if they lose to Dallas. I think it comes down to that Week 18 game. I'm pretty sure. Don't take my word for it. Then Pittsburgh at 7 and 8. They're at Baltimore this week, and they have the Cleveland Browns, but they are the lowest team out of these all 7 and 8 teams, so they're going to need some help from all these other teams to lose. But 2 favorable division matchups.
Yeah.
Not favorable, but like winnable games, I guess. Then the Raiders, I didn't write down because they're not going to make it. NFC, Philadelphia Eagles, Minnesota Vikings, San Francisco 49ers are the top 3 seeds. They have all clinched. The Bucks at 7 and 8 lead their division. They have Carolina and then at Atlanta. Division games. The Carolina game is huge this week for them and for the Panthers. Dallas has clinched 5 seed. Giants at the 6 seed have not clinched. They have the Colts this week and they're at Philly in week 18. Philly has not locked down the 1 seed yet, actually, so they might. I don't know what's going to happen if Hurts maybe just sits the rest of the year until playoffs. Giants are probably going to get in, though. It's looking like the Giants are going to get in. Even if they lose both of these games, it would be tough, but they have the clear advantage right now as they are the only team out of this group that has 8 wins.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. The 7 seed right now in the playoffs, the Washington Commanders at 7 and 1. They have Cleveland this week and Dallas in week 18. Dallas is clinched, and they pretty much have clinched the top wild card spot, so they don't have much to play for. Can they still win the division? Philly's 13 and 2. Dallas is 11 and 4. Dallas beat Philly. I think there's still a world where they can win the division if Philly loses out.
Twice and Dallas wins twice.
So maybe Dallas competes in that game. Really need Washington to lose this week.
Yeah.
Like they got to lose this game to Cleveland. 8 seed, Seattle Seahawks, who do own the tiebreaker over the Detroit Lions, which is unfortunate. They are 7 and 8. They have the Jets and the Rams. 2 both at home. 2 games that like they could easily win. The Jets game is going to be huge this weekend. Like that is the biggest one of all, I think, out of all these games. Really need the Jets to win that one. And then we're going to have to bank on our friends, the Rams. You know, we've been rooting for them to lose all year. We're going to have to switch it around for week 18. You got to beat the Seahawks. So
we got you a Super Bowl. Help us out.
Exactly. And you were helping us out all year. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, Baker Mayfield, you came in and screwed stuff up. Fix it. Fix it now and win that game. Unless they lose to the Jets, then it doesn't really matter. Lions, obviously 7 and 8. We have Chicago and at Green Bay. We all know that. And then Green Bay at 7 and 8. They're the lowest out of these 7-win teams. They have Minnesota this week, Detroit, both at home. They have the highest percentage out of a non-playoff team to get into the playoffs right now, according to like ESPN or whatever.
That's hell. That is
because they know exactly how this
thing goes.
They know it's unfortunate. And then actually I did write down the other two teams, Carolina and New Orleans, who can't make the wild card, but actually they might be able to make the wild card, but they
can win the
division. Carolina, they have at Tampa Bay, at New Orleans, both road games, but division games. They win both of those. They are in the playoffs, which would be unreal to see Sam Darnold in the playoffs. And then the Saints have at Philly and then Carolina, so they probably won't get in.
Even better, Andy Dalton in the playoffs. Get him back.
Even worse.
Get him back.
So that could happen, but probably not. So that's the playoff picture right now. We just win, Lions. Please, just win. That's pretty much it.
Yep, that's it.
All right, see you later.
Peace.